Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 9. The last map it is here. Starting to the top right, the player who brought Acer back into this team match. It is Innovation with a win against Baby Knight and another victory against Daishi. He's going up against his second Terran opponent today. To the bottom left is the starting player for Millenium, who is also the ace player. He defeated 3 Zergs in a row. He took down Bly, he took down Scarlet, and he finished off NMrUUG, and then he found his master in MMA. Now he has to go up against Innovation. It's that last map, that one map that counts, that will decide which team is going to win it here at the Acer TeamStory Cup. Innovation versus ForGG, and boy, it is going to be a good one. We have to the bottom left of Overgrowth now the strongest Millennium player, who's currently also one of the top players in the Acer TeamStory Cup overall, at least for the 3rd season. He is 9-1 currently in overall matches, which is pretty impressive. Starts with the gas here, and for Innovation all the way to the top. We already have the barracks to the front. Didn't start his refinery just yet. Maybe he's going to show us something different this time. Against Daishi, he was all about the aggression. Had, of course, a great defense there as well, but this time he's going for a bit of a later gas. Just a click on the Vespine geyser, that's what we saw just a second ago. But so far, he does not start it at all. Well, there we go. Starts it quite late compared to his opponent, because ForGG is already mining, and mining quite a bit at that. So I'm very interested to see how exactly ForGG is going to play it in comparison to what we saw against MMA. When we had the match against MMA, what ForGG did was trying first of all to be aggressive in the early game, but also go into mech. And he went for an attack where he didn't realize that MMA had a lot of Vikings, had a lot of anti-air, and had a couple of Banshees as well. ForGG wasn't able to take down the Vikings, and then suddenly his entire mech army was completely exposed to those Banshees, and he lost way too much, and also the initiative in the game itself, the map control, and MMA just played a flawless game from that point on and was able to take that. So in this particular game we might see the mech strategy once again, but I think ForGG is going to tweak it a little bit and at least make sure that Innovation will not get that same position that MMA got in the last game. So for now we have just a bit of scouting going on by both of them. The SCV returns after it was denied entrance to the main base, and we have one Reaper by ForGG heading over. And once again, the problem that you have here on Overgrowth is that there is just very little surface area where you can jump into the main base with a Reaper, and that's of course something that Innovation knows. He has those Marines already in position, just waiting there, and well, the Reaper might get in, but he's most likely going to pay with his life if he does, and it doesn't really want to do that. Already saw what he wanted to see. That was the 3rd base here for now. Could even have seen the gas and clicked on it real fast. I don't think that is that fast with his clicks, but yeah, didn't see the gas anyways, so it didn't really matter that too much. The expansion for ForGG is also being built now at the bottom of the map, and we have ForGG with gas number 2. So we will definitely see a bit of aggression out of him. And as you can imagine, Innovation for now also in a position where he will have that mineral line here on the low ground a little bit slower than his opponent because of the command center on the high ground, where it is of course a bit safer, but yeah, still. ForGG not afraid to expose his SCV a little bit, but that will give him the faster access to the mineral line because he does not have to move the command center down in the first place. Xel'Naga Watchtower so far under control of the Reaper, but harvester count is here absolutely identical. It's Marines versus Reapers for now, and of course now the switch in tech up a little bit. There's already our add-on at the barracks. He's going into the Banshee build. He's going for that right away and trying to find out what he can do with that. If he can maybe even sneak in and get a couple of kills, that would of course be great for him here. So the aggression out of ForGG, Innovation is going to be the one who will defend or try to defend a little bit, but at least for now he's moving out with the army that he has, which is actually a pretty smart move if you think about it. It's also the faster medevac that we see there for the support, and there is no bunker down here actually. The Banshee is gonna have to do a lot here, so at this point, yeah, moving into the Xel'Naga Watchtower was not the best position there for ForGG. He moved into the smoke screen here and suddenly lost 2 of his Hellions, and Innovation has a pretty decent army here, 22 army supply against 13 at this point in the game. No bunker here at the front, but the Banshee alone should be able to really deal with this if Innovation decides that he really wants to go across map and do some more damage. And with the medevac now moving in and those additional Hellions also making their way over, it's not very likely that he's just gonna stay back at home. So here we go. A nice line at the front, but with a good drop if he gets those shots off. And he's splitting the Marines out already, fanning them out, getting the maximum amount of damage done. Kills 2 additional Hellions. This could be a very fast game, ladies and gentlemen. The Hellions making their way over into the main base. Innovation. He is going for it. The army supply heavily in his favor. He wants to end this quickly. Is this fast and dirty. Innovation with a push. 18 army supply against 9. He's starting to take down his opponent's harvesters. The harvester count already 19 against 32. Innovation doing so much damage here. He's not going to be able to end the game at this particular moment in time. But he did a lot of damage, as you can see. 16 harvesters against 31. 16 were killed by Innovation. A lot of mining time lost. Resources lost, of course, also in favor of the Team Acer player. Innovation lost just a few units. Not enough to really make this attack with a couple of Hellions work in favor of ForGG. Innovation even now putting up the missile turrets because he knows there's the Banshee on the way. Actually, where is that first Banshee? Did he lose that as well? Yeah, he lost the Banshee too. Oh my god, like, this is not a good position for him to be in. There are Vikings, like, there is way too much. Innovation is so far ahead already. Another Hellion goes down. He might get another one if he sneaks in. Oh, it's close, but yep, gets... Wow! Nice, all of the Marines are gone. Sweet move, yeah, nice micro. But still, the lead for Innovation is a pretty big one. The Harvester lead is the biggest problem for him. 19 to 37, the income at this point, just really, really strong. And of course, this is something that Innovation is already using. He's getting his Vikings out again. He has missile turrets in all the strategically important positions. Once that those Banshees are starting to commit, they expose themselves to the detection and to all those Vikings that we have there. Another thing that we can, of course, also see is that we see a couple of siege tanks. We have Vikings here, more and more for Innovation. He gets that tech up as well, and that's very, very bad news for GG. But still, he's not out of it just yet. If Innovation overextends just once, the tides might turn. But for now, it's really just the Terran player in red that is calling the shots. The Banshee is trying to change that, getting the first 2-3 kills, but now the Vikings coming into play with another scan, and he gets it. He's going to take this out. At the front, we have the Hellions trying to move in, but well, guess what? Hellions against siege tanks, not really the best mix. It's not really what he wants to go for there. And it looks like ForGG keeps himself... Yeah, he's keeping his strategy alive and the idea that he had there, going into mech regardless of what happened early on. So let's see if that's going to work out for him. I guess Innovation is already planning his next move, and then it can only be aggression. Sitting tight here is putting him into a very good position where he has a strong army because he knows that he has the better economy, but he doesn't need to do that for the entire duration of the game. He can really move out and start to do some damage if he wants to. But he himself is actually just waiting for the +1 attack upgrade. He doesn't get too many Vikings or Medivacs just yet. He's looking at 3 Vikings for now. That at least helps him with the 2 Banshees that we still have there. But ForGG is also starting to close the distance on that gap in its overall supply a little bit. And Innovation is just waiting for Stim, for Combat Shield. And I guess he's not going to move out before he has those 2 ready. No reason for him to really do anything like that. But he is starting with the first Medivac and a bit of escort that he has there. The bodyguards of the Medivac moving down, and he might not even see that with the barracks. Well, I guess he's barely gonna see that. Yeah, and there he goes. So he sees the Viking for now, the Medivac that is. The Vikings could take down the... yeah, they can actually take down the barracks if they want to. A few kills in the main base. If he gets that, he would be pretty happy about it. And, well, there we go. Viking versus Viking. The first shot goes off against the ones that Innovation has there. And that means that this Medivac is going to die. And moves like this is exactly what he needs. This is exactly what ForGG needs to come back into the game. Suddenly, the resources lost don't look that devastating any longer. ForGG and Innovation on the same number here. The harvester count is 37 against 46. Still a pretty big lead in that regard for Innovation, but that also means that the army supply at this point is better for the Millenium player. So he's not out of it just yet. Innovation is starting to move cross-map, and he has already Combat Shield completed. He's going for the Concussive Shell now, and is also on the way to get the Stim upgrade done. And that will put him into a spot where he can definitely do a lot of damage against what we currently see from ForGG. But it's all about the position and about how you can flank your opponent. And the air battle is currently being won by the Millenium player. That will give him, of course, an opportunity not only take down that last remaining Viking of Innovation, but he might be able to snipe those medivacs. And if he can, then the Bio Army will be without the healing support, and that can be quite devastating, especially since we have now a position where ForGG might well be able, well, there's a scan, okay, might probably not be able to just catch Innovation off guard and flank him at any point of the game, because that scan revealed the position and Innovation is immediately moving back a little bit, taking a lead in overall army supply again. Blue Flame is coming in. Here come the Vikings, take down those medivacs that we talked about earlier, the siege tanks in the back, but we already have the sieged up position for Innovation, and oh my god, ForGG is taking a beating here. GG realizes that after this fight he cannot possibly win it any longer. He was trying it with a lower harvester count, trying to go for the better army and at least win one of those battles. Taking down that initial medivac was definitely a win, at least for a short period of time, but in the end it's Innovation who prevails, and it's Team Acer that win the Acer TeamStory Cup match here at hand. Congratulations to Innovation, and congratulations of course to Team Acer.